Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to BISP Solutions. So, in the series of EDMCS live webinars, today we are going to discuss that we're going to do working with approvals, and we will also see the configuring part of approvals, and there is some trivial topic that is daily maintenance that we will also discuss. Okay, so let me just go you through the basics, and you will see the slide and we will discuss about it, and then we do the practical of it. Okay, so approval policies and data objects. So approval policies are enabled at the application, so dimension hierarchy sets or node type level. So you can enable the approval policies at the application level, at the dimensions, at the hierarchy set, or the node type level. As with permissions, approval policy cascade from application to dimension. So all the policies they will go from application dimension and then hierarchy sets and to node types. So it will just follow the full path. Okay, that is a policy that is configured on our application, will be applied to all of the dimensions in that particular application. So if you configure the policy in the application, so it will apply to all the dimension, and policies configured on dimension will be automatically applied to the node types and hierarchy sets in the dimension. Okay, so then we have configuring approval policies. So in that we have approve policy enable approvers. So we are just giving the gist of it, that approval policy enable approvers to review, request, and approve or reject their contents. You configure the request by specifying who can approve the request and how many approvals are needed. So basically we can define who can be the approval and how many approvals are needed for a particular change for every request after the approval policy requirements are met. So yeah, approval policy requirements should be met, whatever the configuration we provide that in there. Okay, all right, the request can be committed. Yes, it can be committed. Reviewers can also reject the request, which closes the request and sends a notification to the request submitter. So basically, in commit stage, you can see it is like a final stage to view all the necessary changes which has been made in the particular whatever change has been made by the request. So at the commit stage, you can see all the changes. You can either reject it, but you cannot make any further changes at the commit stage. Okay, and reviewer is also, they can also reject the request, which closes the request and sends a notification to the request submitter or push the request back to the submitter. So you have to see that we have an option by which we can, when we raise a request, a notification has been sent to the particular submitter, and we can also push the request back to the submitter so that submitter can make some further edits and resubmit it. So suppose we have one person or user who has made some changes, and we want that we want to see so it will go for approval. So whatever the approval policies has been defined, the particular approval will get to see the changes. And if he rejects it, okay, he can push back the particular request. Then the submitter can again make the edits and resubmit it. Okay, then we have approval and request action on data objects. The data object that he enable on approval policy on determines the request action that will require approval. So if you enable an approval policy on an application or dimension, approval will be required by any action. I mean, you have to make a request, and when we make a request and you perform any action, then the approval policy will trigger. And if you enable an approval policy on a node type, approvals will be required for request in which nodes are added or deleted. So for this is also already I mentioned this in previous topics, that whenever we provide the approvals policy for the node types, it will only required for the changes that are added or deleted. So if you make any changes in the, like if you made changes like addition or deletion, then it will trigger for the node type. And if you enable an approval policy on a hierarchy set, so these are two different things, node type and hierarchy set. If you enable the approval policy on a hierarchy set, then approvals will be required for requests in which node are inserted, moved, removed, or reordered. So you can see the trigger options are different here. That the request which are made for added and deletion, it will go only for the node types, and for the hierarchy sets, approval will be required for requests like inserted, move, removed, and reorder in a hierarchy set. So that you have to distinguish between these two. Okay, and or in which node relationship properties such as parents are updated. Then we have multiple approval policy on data objects. So an individual data object has only single approval policy that can be configured. However, because policies cascade a dimension, hierarchy set, or node set may be affected by multiple policies. In this case, each policy is evaluated independently. So if you have multiple policies for the data objects, so it will take individual, it will evaluate it independently. For example, suppose you have the following approval policies are enabled. So we have taken some example here. An approval policy at the application level requires 3 approval for accounting. An approval policy at the dimension level requires 4 approvers from accounting. And these policies do not combine. So a total of 7 approval for accountings are required. So like we have given at the application level, okay, and then we have given at the dimension level also. So in this case, for the application we have 3 approvers, and for the dimension level we have required 4 approval levels of approvers. Okay, 4 level of approvers. But when we have multiple approval policy, then we have to it do not combine. It will not combine with each other. Independently we have to approve 7 of the in total of 7 approvers from the accounting are required. So 4 plus 3 or 3 plus 4, it equals to 7. Then instead each policy is evaluated separately, and since both policies required approval from the same accounting, the first 3 approval policies are applied to both policies as follows. So the application level policy is satisfied with the 3 approver from accounting approve the request, and the dimension level policy satisfy when 1 additional approval policy approval from accounting approve the request. So basically they count as 7, but when you approve at the application or at the dimension level, so automatically the application level approves are all automatically get set off with that, and vice versa. In any case, you do and the additional approval will be required in that case. Okay, so let's go to our application and do the practical and how we can define the approval policies and all. So I have this EDMCS application, you can see here, and this is the home page. Okay, so let me go to applications and I will show you at which application I want to give the policies and permission. So you can see here we have one custom application, that is custom application 00, that is universal application. So with the action tab with the 3 dots, you have to click on inspect, and after clicking on inspect, you can see we have various tabs here, and you can see we have one tab that is permissions. So you can see Sam is a person or the user who is the owner currently. Owner are the people who can create an application and all the things. So he is the owner of the particular application, and he have all the data access. So suppose I want to give one more permission at the application level. So we are at the application level currently. Suppose I want to add as user 1, let's say, or if I want to give any other permission him to that, either he can be owner or data manager or participant. So the participants can sort of more they can only take some part in this, and they can do some small things. Okay, So if you want to make someone as participant, so just to contribute a little bit, so he can be a participant to the particular application. And if you want to make someone as the data manager, so data manager is the person who manages all the metadata and all the all the EDMCS related things, okay, like importing, exporting, and changing all the required things, okay. So suppose I click on data manager to him, so data manager automatically gets all the privileges, like he have all the privileges for the data access, you can see that. But for the participant, we have to manually give them the access, like we have to allow him what actions he can perform, and we have to allow him the properties and all, okay. So currently, let's say I'm not going to add user one, I'm going to add administrator. So let me just remove it. You can also remove the person. So let's say I'm adding admin. So admin is now the owner. Let's make him the owner of this particular application. So owner is also getting all the privileges. So let me just save it. Okay, and then we have policies here. So you can see automatically by default a policy is given. So you can also create yours, but let me just click on it. So at the application level, this policy is enabled automatically. So let me just disable it, and we will give a policy at the dimension level, not at this level. So I will just save it. So I've disabled it. So to enable it, you have to just check it, and the policy is enabled. So I have disabled it. So let me just close it. So I will give you a brief that we have opened the application, and we have opened inspect, and then we have gone to the permissions and give the ownership right or application owner to the admin. We have made administrator as the application owner for this particular application. Okay, so now we go to views. Oh, one second. Before going to views, we want to define, let's like we have discussed that we can give permission at the application level, dimension level, hierarchy sets, and node types. So let's say we want to give the permission, the policy basically at the dimension level. So in when we inspect the application, you can see we have got the tab for the dimensions, and under this you can see we have account. That is one sort of dimension we have in the particular application. And when I open the dimension, I can give again the permission and again the policies. So suppose I go to policies and go to approval and go to definition. So here I can give the permission, give the approval policy. And one more thing I wanted to show you that, okay, it is gone. So when you click on the dimension, so whatever the people present in the approval policy for the application level, automatically they got the permission here, okay. You can see they are coming as a participant now. So it is noted, it is to be noted that whatever the policies are given in the application level, automatically the permission will go to the dimension level and node type and hierarchy sets. So you can see these are the approvers. So let's go to policies and give in policy at the account dimension level. So you can see there's a general tab, and okay, let's create one sort of approval. So again I will go to inspect, go to dimension, go to account, go to policies, and here I will create one policy. So you have to name it like a policy type. So let's say we have approval policy, and we can also create a commit and or notify sort of policy. So for this I am going to create policy type as approval, and approval policy, you have to name it, okay. So description is optional. So okay, So you can see who is the creator, who is the modifier, you can see particularly. Then we have definition. So in definition, I'm going to first click on enabled. So without clicking on enabled, the policy cannot get enabled. And then we have approval method. So let me first select some user so that you can get an idea. So let me select Jim. This is one approver here, and we have Tim also. So Tim is also an approver. So in approval method, we have parallel or serial. So let's say in parallel, like uh, Jim and Tim both will get parallelly the notification or to the request to approve it. But in series, first Jim will get, and only suppose we have also added one group. So if the group is present at, let's say we have one group that is approver group 1. So now at the third level, the approval group 1 will get the notification or the request. So this follow the sequence in which we add the users. So let me just remove this first. Okay, so currently we are using two particular users, that is Jim and Tim. So Jim will be the first approver and Tim is the second, and we will use the serial method approval. And one more thing is, it is asking that one approval per group. So it is like taking individual user as one group. Okay, so even if I uncheck it, approval are required only two. Still they are two approval because they are taking as individual group for both of the approvers. Okay, so it doesn't matter if we add individual user then. So but in parallel, you can see that now I have to select either of the like who can be the, because both have the equal value or both have the equal sort of privilege. So either the Jim can approve the request or Tim can also approve the request. But in series, we have to like automatically it will take two people as approver. Okay, now we can add include some submitter also that we have just talked about. And if we want to add any sort of enrichment, so let's say there is a condition that we have one user, or let's say admin is the person who just making the changes, which we are going to practically going to do that. And suppose administrator is doing some changes, but admin is the person who can manage the technical part, but he's not much what we say not much involved in the financial part or the functional part. Okay, so admin has been made some changes, but approver are the people who are from the finance background or who know the metadata correctly, that how the metadata should look like, and what are the account type has been given to any particular account, and whatever the requirement is there. So we want to at the approval level, we want that the particular approver can change the metadata or who can make some any enrichment to the particular data. Okay, and by data I mean like metadata. Okay, so if we allow this, then approver can also change the metadata. Then we have notification reminder. So let's say when we have sort of whatever the current invitees have to approve it, then before the it's get completed, he can get the reminder. Okay, like notification reminder. And if the approver wants to make any escalation, like if any escalation is there, that someone other than the current approvers, if you want to make any other person as the approver, so then escalation can also be made. So then we have to again give the numbers here if you want to provide it, but right now I'm not going to provide any notification reminders and approval escalations. Okay, so we have the save that, and reminder we have 0 days, and approval escalation we have 0 reminders. Okay, then we go to filters. That is the most important part. So suppose if I want to configure it in that way that for a specific actions I want to only include the approval policy. So when you unselect the all, you can see that we have various options, like we can add we can do the approval policy, add actions or delete actions, insert actions, move actions, remove actions, rename actions. So I'm just going to select add and delete options. So whenever the add and deletion has been made, so in this particular scenario, the approval policy will trigger. And if you want to like include any particular policy, if you want to include any particular property, let's say I want to include account type. So whenever there's a changes account type or name, parent, description, so in that scenario the property like the policy will also trigger. So I will select all for now. And if you want to give any node condition, node expression here, that is a custom business logic, you can provide in here also. So it is basically used when in a scenario that we want a person, so like we have one user that is Tim. So apart from Tim, if any other person or you can say that if you have a user, so apart from admin, if anyone make any changes in the metadata, then we do not require any approval policy. So that sort of what we say node condition expression you can provide. Okay. And you can see we have objects, we have operators also. Okay, and we have in statements basically. So I will cancel it for now. Then we have request types. So you know that we have subscription based of request, we have interactive. Okay, we have load, import, consideration. So these type of requests you can also select. If you specifically want to give any sort of filters here, that you can do in the filters. So I'm selecting all types here for the request and let's save it. Okay. Again, I'm going to the dimension here, and you can see we got the policy, approval policy here, 0 groups and 2 users. And let's give some permissions. So let's give Jim as okay, it is already set by the owner of the application. Okay, so let's close and give the let's see what if the policy is triggers or not. So we have a given policy for the Jim and Tim, and Tim is the person whose email ID is registered. So we will also get a notification email whenever there is a approval policy will come for the Tim. So let me open my view and open the viewpoint for the account dimension, and let's make some changes. So admin is going to make some changes. You can see this is the viewpoint, that is the account dimension viewpoint. Okay, and we have to make a new request if you want to make changes in the metadata. So I'm making a new request, and let's say give a name, that's a cache. We are going to add cache account. So add cache account, and let me just expand this hierarchy. So you can see currently we are in draft mode, and this is a manual sort of change, so that is why it is showing as interactive. So on the current assets we have cache and cache equivalents. Okay, so here I'm going to add a child to cache and cache equivalents. So I will add cache account to 2. Okay, description if you want to provide, asset type, account type is asset. Okay, so I'm going to submit this. And one more thing, you can also validate it. It is submitted. So once you submit the request, so it whenever there is an approval policy, it will come in flight mode. So you can see that. Okay, so the first approval person is Jim, and the second one is Tim. So if you want to see that who is the person if you want to see all the details for the request, so with this 3 dots you have to go to inspect, and after you click on the inspect, a request summary will appear, and all the tabs for the request will appear here. So in the summary you can see that we have an ID, we have a title, owner, creator, modifier. Okay, we have title, we have description, we have view, for what view we are getting the request type, status, and stage. So currently we are at approve stage, and you can see that we have got the time items and days old and all the things. Then we have to go to details. So if you want to just check all the certain things, you can check it. So a person who has added a node, that is account, that is admin, and inserted cash and cash equivalent and all the things. So this is the hierarchy in which the particular account has been added, and you can see the actions, node type and application. Then if we can see if there is any comment has been provided, and if any attachment is there, and your workflow. So in workflow, that is most important. You can see that currently it is submitted and it is now at approve stage. And if we had commit stage or any other, and the last stage is closed. So currently the approval, you can see remaining approvals are two of two is remaining, and we have we have one invitee, that is Jim, and then we get the one more invitee, that is Tim. But right now we are the one invitee is Jim, that is why we are like seeing him. And if you want to open the policy, you can open it from here also. Okay, dimension is like stating here. Then we have history. So if we have any particular history that what changes has been made, then you can see that. Then we have the lineage, that is the ancestry, you can see. Okay, then we have audit. So in audit, like I already discussed, that you can just filter all the things, and you can select all the details that what changes has been made and whatever the requirements are there. Okay, so let's open Jim and approve the particular request, and let's see what interface he will get. Okay, so I'm going to open Jim here. Okay, so Jim is the guy who got the request. So either you can open from the mail, or you can go from the home page at the activity tab and go to request for my approval. And also you can go to navigator and open request, same will appear. So specifically we are seeing the specific request. Okay, and when you open the, you can see we have the ID, title, view, request type, and all this thing. Okay, you can see the items also. Let me just open this add cash accounts. So when you just open it, you can see it will automatically take you to the particular request. Okay, and we have two actions, like two actions here, that we can push back if the approver do not satisfy with the particular changes. He can push back the request, or he can reject the particular request. Okay, so you can see we got the particular cash account, and we can also add the comment, and we can change the parent. So we have allowed enrichment. So suppose I want to make cash account 2 as 02, so I guess we can make changes also, because enrichment is allowed in our approval policy. Okay, we can also change the parent and make the account type, change the account type, all things. So I will just approve this, because we are not finding any further options to like reject it. Okay, it is again now showing in flight mode, because we have one more approver, that is Tim. So I will open Tim and show you. So the Jim part is done, you can see. So as soon as the approval is done, you can see we got a mail here. Let me just see. You can see we got a mail that invite to, let me just open it. Okay, so you can see here we got a mail that Tim, hello Tim, you are invited for approval request. So Tim can open the request from this here also, or he can just log in from the particular browser and open his ID in the EDMCS application. So you can see the request name also, title of the request. So I will simply just log out Jim and log in Tim here. So because we have applied for the serial sort of approval policy, so we are getting serial wise approvals, the request for approvals. Okay. Okay, so we are in Tim's ID, and at the activity page, at the home page, you can see we got various requests, but one request is there, that is request for my approval. So Tim will open it, and again Tim will see that this is the request, particular request, and he will open it. Okay, so you can see. So you can see that Tim is the person who got the final sort of approval, and Tim is seeing that he got this account which is going to add, and he want to change this. So Jim has made it to 02, and now Tim again has made it to 2. Okay, and okay, so then we have again actions here to perform, that he can push back or reject. Okay, and all the things you can see. And if you want to add any comment, that I have I don't know what's happening. Okay, I have made changes and submitted, what we say, approved it in cash account. And he can also provide any link here, and he can just save it. Okay, so Tim has given one, and anyone can reply with that, but yeah, Tim is the last user, so approver. Okay, so again I'm just approving it, so let's approve it. And here also the comment is optional, you can provide the comment. Okay, so now Tim has approved one request, and he can just go back to the request and approve various other requests. So you can go to request also, but yeah, no requests are being like showing for the Tim, because he is a approver in only single sort of application. And as soon as you just go to admin, that there is written that Jim and Tim have modified the request. So admin, who is the user who just made any modification, he will also see the changes. So suppose admin wants to see the particular changes, so he will go to inspect for the particular request, and go to details, and you can see that the Tim has added the he has made it this changes that made this account as cash account 2, and he can see the comments also, I guess. Okay, I don't know why comments are not visible here. Then we have, yeah, workflow. We know that we have submit, approve, and close the application. The particular request is closed here. And in history, now you can see that there is the full history, that admin has made one request, then Jim has to approve this account, and Jim has made cash account 2 to cash account 02, and then Tim has made cash account 02 to cash account 2 again. Okay, and he has also provided the, what we say, the comments here. And lastly, Jim has just completed the request, and he just like approved it. Then we have lineage. Okay, and in lineage then we have audit. So now you can see that because we have made it on a cash account, and now you can see that what actions has been performed, who's the parent, who's about its property, and from and to, and user, who are the users who have just made the changes, to what dimension, to what viewpoint. Okay, and you can also filter it out. Suppose I only want to select action for add, so I will simply select add that, and only the add actions will be appear here. Okay, so likewise you can just make the changes and filter it out. I will just close it and refresh it. Okay, and click on done. Okay, so I guess our meter data has been changed by the admin and things are approved. Okay, so we got the cash account too. So this is how you can simply just make the changes, and you can see that the request is now completed as soon as we just refreshed it. Okay, and if you click on this, it will automatically take you to the particular item, and here you can like admin can read the comments here, what comments has been added by the approvers or whoever the person has given the comment. Okay, so this is the approval policy. Let's move on to the our second topic, that is daily maintenance. So in daily maintenance, basically like the very simple thing. So let me go to admin again. So we go to navigator. This is daily maintenance, and here you can provide that select the service maintenance start. So because Oracle is like all the application for like the cloud applications we have, they are like they are in different data server. Okay, and every application needs a daily maintenance and all the things. So it can like configure by itself and delete all the temporary files and all the cache files and all the things and various other files and all the daily maintenance part, which you know that. Okay, so these sort of maintenance are required by the cloud application. So we want to select a start time for that, and we also select we have to select the particular time frame in which, according to the country wise or specific to our need, we can also select that. Suppose my client resides in London. Okay, and I want that he worked in London, and London is like 3/4 hour early, like before the IST. So in London we want to provide like 3 a.m. at night. So I will select London here, and I will select the time, and time is in 24-hour format, and I will simply select 3 a.m. So likewise I can just simply select it, and as soon as I click on apply, the changes has been applied and the service may enable. And yes, because we have the daily maintenance part, so service will be affected for the time, for like 1 hour or something like that. So simply I will just discard the changes. You can also just save it and apply it. Then we have one more thing, that's the ancillary part I'm just discussing, that is migration. So it is very important to like take the backup of the application. So suppose I want to take the migration, I want to take the backup of the particular application. So I will simply have to select all of these things, like we have to check it. So it will take the enterprise data management, all the data of it, and then it will take the group and membership data also. You can just select, you can see that in here. Okay, and when you click on both of these things, like you have to click on backup and it will get backed up. Okay, so it will ask you for one name, that backup let's say backup main or main backup, and I will click on OK, and it will take a backup. It will take some time, and the backup will appear here in the snapshots. Okay, so these are the backups which are already present in the application. And if you want to take in the local system, then we have to go to actions, and here you can see that we can delete the backup, we can download it in the local system, we can repeat export, we can rename it, we can import it. Import means we can import in the particular application, and we have the modification history also. So and okay, so and then we can access the reports also. So these are the reports as migration status. If we have like initiated the backup if we have initiated the backup process, then it will show the reports and the status here, and all of the things will, the status and report part will appear here, related to the migration part only. Okay, so and this is the artifacts update. You can update the artifacts here. We have ended, started, ended. We have categories, and we can run the report. So I guess we are done for the day. So we have discussed what is like approvals, and we have completed the approval policies, and I hope you like enjoyed it and got some knowledge from it. And we have also discussed the daily maintenance and migration part. So thank you so much for watching and attending the session. And if you have more query or related to any other like products from Oracle, or even if from the EDMCS, you can reach out to bispsolutions.com, and see you next time. Thank you.